It's a special update from the current music news. I'm Jay Gabler. Sorry to report the death of a flamboyant founding father of rock and roll, one of the most charismatic and influential artists in the history of American popular music. Little Richard has died at age 87. His son confirmed the news to Rolling Stone and said the cause of death remains unknown. As rock and roll was storming the world in the 1950s, Little Richard landed a series of hits that brought style, fun, and frantic rhythm to the newborn genre. His high-octane blend of gospel-styled shouts and frenetic R&B rhythms laid the groundwork for generations of electric performers, and his winking, glittery self-presentation challenged gender binaries. Little Richard's hits include Good Golly Miss Molly, Long Tall Sally, Rip It Up, Lucille, and of course his signature song, Tutti Frutti. Written by Little Richard with a polish on the suggestive lyrics by Dorothy Labostri, the single was released on Specialty Records in 1955 and became Little Richard's breakout hit. In 2007, a panel of recording artists assembled by Mojo magazine voted the single #1 on their list of records that changed the world. They called it the sound of the birth of rock and roll. Richard Wayne Penniman was born in Macon, Georgia in 1932. His family didn't appreciate his musical interests, and he left home at age 13, taking the stage name Little Richard 2 years later. After he failed to find success with tamer material, he finally hit the jackpot when he embraced his wilder side and turned Tutti Frutti into one of the key early tracks that showed the world rock and roll was a powerful new force that could appeal to white and black audiences alike. Little Richard's peak years as a star came in the late 1950s when he landed 9 top 40 hits and starred in movies like The Girl Can't Help It. From the beginning, other artists loved to cover his songs, which are a core part of the repertoire of the Beatles in the early years. In fact, they opened for Little Richard in Germany. It was a sign of the segregated times when Pat Boone's infamously tame cover of Tutti Frutti charted higher than Little Richard's original. After a turn to gospel in the early 60s, Little Richard returned to his big hits and settled comfortably into the oldies circuit, watching the rise of superstars influenced by his music and style. In 1986, he was one of the 10 original inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Little Richard's art is honest and true, and as such, it cannot be denied. Richard Penniman, a courageous, daredevil, determined, secure performer, is very special to me. He is very special to all of us. It's my pleasure, my very distinct pleasure, to present him with the trophy that inducts him into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Over the years, Little Richard said a wide variety of things about his own sexuality, retained lifelong ties to the church. Even so, his unapologetic style, with makeup and a high pompadour, helped generations of artists across the rainbow to be more fully themselves. One of the artists Little Richard most powerfully influenced was Prince. In 1989, Little Richard said, quote, "Prince is the Little Richard of his generation," and he pointed out who wore purple first. Tributes to one of rock's most inimitable, yet widely imitated artists are coming in from around the world. To keep it concise, though, there may be no better words than those of the late David Bowie, who said that when he was a boy and heard Tutti Frutti, he thought he had, quote, heard